Functions are great time savers. For instance, if you are finding yourself always making horizontal line, for instance, here, and then you say something here, and then you have echo there, and then you something else like this, and then you have another horizontal line. Let's take a look at that beautiful page. Yes. Now, let's say you go, oh, well, actually, I want my horizontal line to have a border. So let me put a border in here. Border dashed some kind of color. So, like that. So, that's my border. And so now my first line is a very nice dotted line, and that's just the way I want to have it, let's say. Now I'm going to have to do a copy and paste for all of these. Okay, which is fine if I have 3. Still works. But what if I have 100? What if they're throughout my application? That's why we need functions. So let me make a little function. Function, we'll call it, how about horizontal line? Horizontal line. Nothing more than that. And return this. Just like that. And so here we just have to say echo horizontal line. And we have the same thing. The only difference is that the code is all in one place, which makes it much easier if we want to, for instance, change the color to red. They all change at the same time. Now let's say we wanted to vary the color or be able to define the color when we call the function. We can do that by adding a parameter. Let's call it color, and color like this. So now we will send the color. This one is blue, this one is green, and this one is shade of gray, 888, for instance. And we see that they are actually those colors. There's a little more difference. But what if we wanted a default color? You can, in PHP, it's a nice feature of PHP, not in many other languages that I know. You can define a default right in the parameter. So you can say, for instance, if they don't give a color, then make it orange, for instance. If we look at our page, it's still the same because we're giving it color. But if we take this one out, for instance, we don't even pass a parameter at all, it'll say, okay, I'll make it orange. An important thing to understand about functions is variable scope. So if we have, for instance, system color here, and system color is, let's say, blue, like this. Just for the sake of an example, we'll delete all that. So we have a system color blue, and we're going to send the system color. Oops, system color. There we go. And here we define it as orange if it's the default. We don't need that in this case. We just have a color. The point is here, it'll just display it if we have it like that. But the point is, if we change the variable here to red, then the color that will be displayed is, of course, red, as we can see. But I want to see what is system color here. So I will say system color equals system color. This, let me always add this thing here. And we see that the system color remains blue. And that is desirable in most cases. You want to send a copy of the variable to a function, and the function can do with it what it wants. It can change it. But when the function is finished executing, the value of that variable is the same as it was before the function was called. There are cases, however, when you want to send a variable to a function and keep the changes that are done to it. And the way you do that is simply put an ampersand in front of each of the parameters. So now we look at it. The line is red, and the variable system color changed because it changed in the function. When it came back, the system color was also red. Another very useful feature regarding functions in PHP is that you can call a function with a variable name. Let me show you how that works. Let's say we have another function which does something similar. Function dashed line. For instance, let's just have it simple like this, and then we say return, and it just does this, just returns that. Let's take this color out of here like this, just to make them similar. So horizontal line now makes a dashed red line, and dashed line simply makes a simple line. So we can say, for instance, echo horizontal line, and then we need to add a little break there, of course, just to be correct. And then we will echo dashed line like this, just to see how they work. And there we see the two lines. So, and now we're not going to call them literally, but we're going to say here, desired function equals, for instance, horizontal line, like this. And then we say here, echo desired function and open parentheses, close parentheses, just like that. Run it, and you get the line. The cool thing about this is just a variable which could be changed, for instance, by the user in a form or something like that. So it's quite powerful. If I just change the variable to dash line, then it calls a different function.